Hey, it's Dan Kidder from Sportsman's Warehouse. I am here today testing out the Uncharted Supply Company First Aid Plus kit. So this kit is set up to not only take care and patch holes in you, but to also patch holes in your gear. So there's a little bit of a survival kit in here, there's a little bit of a first aid kit in here, there's gear repair in here. It comes in a nice little rubberized waterproof bag. So you've got a heavy duty gasketed zipper here. And then it also has MOLLE attachment with Velcro on the back, and it comes with a rip-away panel. That's a really great feature. So you can attach this to a pack and then you can stick this on there. There's a big piece of real estate there for all of that Velcro, so it's not going to come loose on you when you don't want it to, but when you need it, you just give it a rip. Let's take a look at the inside of this kit and see what we've got. Inside, you're going to see first aid products. You have a ace bandage, which can also be used to make a compression bandage if you need to. You have some shears, some tweezers. They call these probes. What they actually are lancets. Diabetics use these when they test their blood sugar, but they use them as splinter probes in here. Some safety pins, a CPR mask. I love that it's got a CPR kit in here with an extra set of gloves and a mask. That's really handy. There is another set of gloves in here, so that gives you 2 sets of gloves altogether. Some tape, some cloth waterproof tape. Your triple antibiotic ointment. You've got a little saline vial in here for flushing out wounds or getting something out of your eye to irrigate that. You have some first aid bandages over here, but I will tell you that this is more of a boo-boo kit than a serious trauma kit. There are no ABD combine pads. There's no rolled gauze in here. You do have a triangular bandage or a cravat, which is really useful. It's one of the most useful pieces in a first aid kit. You have a manual here. You got a couple of gauze sponges, the 3x3s, and some wound closure strips, which are really handy. If you can't do sutures in the field, having those wound closure strips are really handy, and you can close those. One of these days I'll show you how to make them with some duct tape. It's got a pin, and there's a really good first aid book. It really goes into some good techniques for treating injuries in the woods. Flip this over, and this is your survival or gear repair kit, and there's some things in here. You've got a couple of chem lights, which are good if you're out and you need a little bit of light to see what you're doing. You've got some wipes. You can use those for toilet paper. You can use those to keep yourself clean, for cleaning up blood on a wound. You have a waterproof match case with some lifeboat matches. These things burn seriously. And they burn and they burn and they burn and they burn. And they keep burning. So these are great for getting something started, especially if it's wet out and you're really struggling to get a fire going. One thing I'd like to see is a little more tinder, but tinder's easy to make or find. It just has a little bit of cotton here. If you want to prolong the life of this, rub some chapstick on it, and then it'll act more like a candle and it won't burn up as quickly. So that's one little trick for you. There is a multi-tool in here, and I like this multi-tool better than the tool that they had in their 72-hour kit. It's all metal. It seems to be better made. I will tell you though that the blades that are in here are dull. They are super dull. I would give them a good sharpening before I took them out into the field. They're just really, really dull. There's another blade in here, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a saw or a serrated blade. It doesn't saw well, and it's not really sharp enough to be a good serrated blade, so I'm not sure what it is. But one thing I like is all of the tools do lock into place, and there's a really great big button to disengage that lock. So I do like that. and they've got wire cutters in here, and they've got needle nose pliers. So, and it just seems way more solid than the tool in the last kit of theirs that I did a review on. It does come with a flashlight, but something to be aware of is it does not come with batteries for the flashlight. So this thing takes 2 or 3 AA batteries, and it did not come with any. 3 and AAA batteries, sorry. 3 AAA batteries, so you need to make sure that you put some in the kit. And I wouldn't put them in the flashlight just in case they leak and get corroded. Toss them in there, wrap them in a little duct tape, then you've got some extra duct tape, and you've got batteries for your flashlight. And speaking of duct tape, the kit comes with a flat little roll of duct tape. And if you go out in the outdoors and you need to repair something, this is your #1 go-to. You can also make bandages out of it. You can make splints with it. So duct tape is a great tool to have in your kit. So those are some things that they add in. Some things I would like to see, or some things for you to add in, would be some analgesics, so some Tylenol, some aspirin, ibuprofen. Also, one of the things I always carry with me is an anti-diarrheal, just because if you start eating things you're not accustomed to eating, your stomach's going to pay the price for it. So those are good to put in there, maybe some electrolyte tablets. And then I would throw in some rolled gauze. I'd put it right here on top of this ACE bandage. I like to have rolled gauze because you can take the rolled gauze, keep it rolled, place that onto a more serious wound, and then wrap that with the ACE bandage, and it becomes a blood stopper. So you're improvising a compression bandage that way. So overall, for what it is, this is a really well thought out kit. Uncharted Supply Company really put some thought into what they're taking out into the outdoors. And you can tell that they spend time in the outdoors, and they've run into issues and problems, and so they have thought through what they include into their kits. So it's compact, it's lightweight. I love the tearaway tab with the MOLLE webbing, because that easily goes onto any PALS webbing attachment points on a pack, and you can just rip that off if you need it, and it's not going to go anywhere until then. So this is a real great kit for going out for excursions, for going on long hikes. Take this into deer camp, elk camp with you. I love this one. It says "Don't die." That is good advice. Sportsman's Warehouse has a wide selection of first aid kits and survival products. You can check them out at your local store, or you can go online at sportsmans.com.